Let's fucking go. All right, what's up, guys? Schmook here, of course, on M Cubed. I know it says Sidetrack up here. I don't know how to change it, and I don't have my boy Harris, but it's okay. This is M Cubed, and yeah, we're here to discuss Deadpool and Wolverine. Okay, so it's we're in the week. It's like Christmas, or it's like Super Bowl weekend, or whatever you get excited for. This is my Christmas. Okay, an MCU movie that I've been looking forward to since it got announced. And people saw the movie last night at the red carpet show at the Chinese theater in LA, right? Where Disney usually does any of their big movies premieres at, right? So people are loving it. People are loving it. All right. So seen a lot of different like reactions to it. It's just like, all right, so this movie's fun. It's rated R. Like it's living up to the name of a Deadpool movie, right? Um, and it's very cameo filled. And one of the things I loved hearing the most is that there is like barely anything in the trailers, right? Because even people would say in the last trailer that came out like a week ago or sometime over the weekend, right? You're showing too much. You're showing too much, right? And of course, that has to do with saying, spoiler alert, Daphne Keane, of course, X-23, Laura, right? And she delivers an unbelievable line to Logan, and I'm amped. And again, based on the last trailer, that trailer raised my hype unbelievably. It wasn't even just for the Laura scene, which I loved seeing and hearing, right? Ooh, excuse me. Was just snacking a lot of hot chips, so I'm kind of feeling a little. But anyway, I know it was nasty. That was nasty. But this is Deadpool. We got to get a little nasty, right? Anyway, the vibe of that trailer was everything I wanted. Because, like, of course, the first two trailers are very epic. It's cool to see, of course, Hugh Jackman back. But this trailer, it got me into like, oh man, we're like, of course, we're going to see a Deadpool movie, right? It's going to be hilarious. And of course, like with him being in the MCU now, it's going to be a lot of more like jabs at Disney and any of that shit, right? Of course, we're probably going to get like a lot more like Frozen references. We even got that in the last one, and that was before Fox was even owned by Disney, right? Like, do you want to build a snowman? Anyway, but based on this last trailer, like we're gonna have a lot of like heart to this film, and like the vibes were just good. It's like you can tell that Ryan's like, I've been waiting for this for a long time. He even says it in the trailer. It's like, yeah, you get to work with one of your best friends in a movie about your guys' two most iconic roles, right? So that's epic. And then like, I just don't even know what to expect from this movie. Because again, like we've seen like nothing in the trailers. Like they've showed us Sabretooth, they've showed us Ant-Man's like giant man's skull. They've showed us, of course, X-23, right? So if we haven't seen shit, what on God's green earth is in this movie? And of course, you want trailers to not show anything, right? I know a lot of people try to go into these things like seeing like no trailers, and I'm like, I'm too into it where I'm gonna watch, right? But I'm gonna try my damnedest to avoid spoilers, and I need to try my best to not just be like my normal self, getting on my phone and start going through X, and I'm gonna see something I don't want to see, right? Kind of gotta do the same way with YouTube, because one of my favorite YouTubers, Denim Nerds, Josh. I would love to do a collaboration with him one day. But we're not big enough quite yet for that. But I think we'd have a good conversation. Anyway, I was watching his video about like, just going over all these reviews. What's up, David? Nice to have you, bud. Hope you're excited for this movie. I know I am. Anyway, I was watching his video about like, just going over the social media reactions, right? Because the full like embargo isn't done yet. So we don't have a Rotten Tomatoes score or anything yet. But again, it's all very positive. But so my point being, I was just looking at the video and I could see from like the first comment, I got a little bit of a spoiler. I'm not too worried about that. It wasn't really. I mean, I guess it's kind of a cameo, but it's like I don't know what they're doing with it, so I don't really care that much. But I was like, oh, okay, kind of makes sense that's in the movie, but I wasn't really going into the movie thinking this would happen. I'm not going to talk about it clearly. But yeah, so that's why I haven't felt this way in a long time, where I want to try my damnedest to avoid spoilers, because like even he mentioned it, like for like most of the past movies, besides like maybe No Way Home or Endgame, Infinity War, I don't really care if I know like the plot or who's in it, blah blah blah, right? This I do. So I have 2 days. I have to get through the rest of today, all tomorrow, and then I work. So being at work, I'll be able to like pretty much avoid everything on Thursday, and I'll try to be off my phone the second I'm off work, because I see the movie at 6 on Thursday. So I should be fine. But you never know, because I got Han Solo dying spoiled for me for The Force Awakens, so that was rough. So I care about not knowing anything. So anyway, by me not really knowing anything, I'm not going to bring it up. Besides the one thing I know, I'm not going to put that in my predictions, because I have to recognize that you guys obviously don't want spoilers. Okay, so I guess let's get into it, huh? Okay. So ultimately, based off the trailers, we know that Wade, and plus like the 30 minutes or whatever of footage that people have seen, we know some things, right? Like how like Deadpool's brought into the MCU, and how like apparently he's been there the whole time and even tries to become an Avenger, and he meets a certain guy. I guess that's something I do know. I don't know if you guys have like read any details on this stuff. I feel like it's okay to talk about the first 30 minutes because they put it out there. So obviously people are going to talk about what's in that first 30 minutes. But I will try to keep this very minuscule, because I know one cameo. This is like probably very early into the movie, like first 15 minutes, even before he meets Logan, right? But anyway, so based off the trailers, because I don't really want to get into this, so I'm going to have to try to avoid whatever I know within the first 30 minutes to predict, because I know what happens. So anyway, so we know that Wade is like a used car salesman or something like that. And then he's having his birthday party. We know that Vanessa and him, based off the trailers alone, we know that they are not together anymore. And it's sad. And so my thought behind that is, based off Wade's cancer, I feel like the reason we're gonna get into why they broke up, because clearly like he saved her life in the last movie through time travel. She was dead and they're in love, blah blah blah. To me, it's probably the fact that Wade, due to his cancer, probably cannot have children, and she probably most definitely wants a child. So I think that's something I don't know based off the 30 minutes. They didn't really dive too deep into the main story points, but I feel like that's definitely a factor, right? So we know that they're not together. What'd you say over here, David? Put this on the screen for the people. Okay. So David, you've seen Logan. It's Laura. X-23 is the daughter of Wolverine. All right, through like taking Wolverine's DNA and putting her, like inseminating her into a woman. So yeah, it's Wolverine's daughter, right? From Logan. So that's what X-23 is, and I will agree. I think I like the first X-Men better. But I don't know. It's kind of gotten to the point where I've seen the first Deadpool so many times. Whenever I watch Deadpool 2, I think I enjoy it more. But overall, I do think Deadpool 1 is the better movie of the two. But that's the problem with rewatching a movie quite a bit, because then I'll be like, all right, I'm a little stale on it. But I like Deadpool 2 a lot because I like Cable, even though I think they should have casted someone else. I like Brolin. I think they could have went someone a little better for the role of Cable, even though he did a good job. Don't get me wrong. I would have picked someone else completely. But I like Domino in the movie. I like the whole idea of X Force, and they all die like right away. I thought it was funny. Um, I like the message there of like found family. That's one of my favorite things within any type of fiction because it's very it shows a lot of like it's very reminiscent on reality because I mean of course you can't choose your blood but you can choose your found family like your friends, people you meet outside of those that you're just related to, right? And I really like that idea within this movie. Like Deadpool cares about him because he wants to have a kid with Vanessa. So this Russell's just kind of filling that role for him, being like, all right, how could I raise a kid? And I'm trying my best with this Russell character. Um, I just think the ending of the movie could have been a little better. I love the Juggernaut fight and everything, so that's pretty cool. But anyway, back to Deadpool 3. So based off trailers, one, we know Sabretooth's in it. We are definitely made aware that who else was I think? Toad's in it. Also, Pyro. Yeah, Pyro's his name, right? He's an X too. I think his name's Pyro. I could be blank, but regardless, we know they're in the movie. So it's just a big throwing. This is definitely the legacy film to the Fox universe. It's definitely going to be that capstone, potentially, unless we're actually getting this Avengers vs X-Men movie, which might be Avengers 5 now, and I hope it is. That's the only other way I would see this as like the death of the Fox universe. But I kind of see what I think that has to be their plan. Of course, I'm rambling, but this thought just hit my head, so I kind of want to talk about it. I think it will be Avengers vs X-Men. It's going to be the Fox universe of X-Men versus Earth 616, the MCU, and it'll end with Secret Wars / Battle World, which will be Avengers 6. So at the end of Avengers 5 will be like it'll do exactly what the Jonathan Hickman Secret Wars did, where like after this incursion of these two Earths, it said RIP Earth 616 and RIP Ultimate Universe, right? So that's how I kind of see this is going to play out, and I think that's the end of Avengers 5. Of course, a huge post-credit scene being like you show Doom crafting his battle world, right? And I think that would be tight. I think that'd be sick. I think that's a perfect way to do this. I think that's what they need to do. I think it makes a lot more sense than doing Kang Dynasty. Just have the first part of this being like a Secret Wars Part 1, and then a Part 2 being Battle World shit. Have the first part just be Avengers vs. X-Men, and it'll be these two worlds, and that's the whole movie. I think that'd be awesome. Anyway, back to predictions. So, some of my thoughts that I've been having recently is like, who are the big cameos, right? Like, I never thought X-23 would be a big cameo, so them showing that, I'm like, okay, clearly it's not to them either. I figured she would be in the movie. It was a good kept secret because I kind of thought they would put her in there, but also I wasn't like, oh, they might not. But apparently this movie's obviously going to honor Logan in some way, like the movie Logan. So who are these big cameo reveals, right? And to me, I think there's no doubt in my mind we're going to have a Wolverine versus Hulk type of moment. We're going to see Hulk in this movie, which I think is going to be epic. And the question is, which Hulk will it be? My money's on Edward Norton, but it could just be Ruffalo. But it's like it's a Ruffalo from a different universe where it's like he's still Hulked out. He's not Smart Hulk, right? I think that's going to happen. And based on the last trailer, we have Deadpool just going, I think we get a Spidey in this movie. I don't know how you fit him in, but I think it happens. I don't think it'll be the after credit scene. I think it'll just be it'll be like in the Void, how we have all these different Lokis. I don't think it will be like the Andrew or the Toby that we see in No Way Home, which of course are from the original movies. But I think we will see one of those two, maybe Tom, maybe. But I think they'll be from some other universe, but there's the actor playing the role. You get what I'm saying? So I think that'd be sick. Uh, I think we will get the original group of X-Men. Yeah, David. No, seriously, I'm with you. Like, I think there's no doubt in my mind we will get a Spider-Man in this movie, and that I think that's the moment. Obviously, people are gonna lose their shit when you see Wolverine fight Hulk, or at least like get an inkling of that. They might have that not have like the full fight, so I think they would save that specific sequence for this Avengers vs X-Men movie, and that will be probably the coolest fight within the movie. Um, so I don't think they want to show like a full fight, but I think you would have like the inkling that a Hulk versus Wolverine fight is going to happen, and we will see Hulk. Uh, but yeah, I think the scene I think brings down the house where every movie theater is going to scream is when they see either Toby or Andrew or Tom. Like truly, Spider-Man is arguably the most popular character of all time. Like him and Batman, I would say, are for sure the two biggest characters in fiction. So yeah, I there's no doubt in my mind. But I also think we will see a lot of, since we're getting a lot of these original villains from the Fox universe, like again, like Toad, like Pyro, like uh, Sabretooth. I think we're gonna get a lot of these original X-Men too, like the original actors. You're gonna see James Marden's Cyclops within the like comic accurate garb, like how we're seeing Logan within the comic accurate garb, which I really like within the last trailer. How it's like he's talking about, yeah, Scott always wanted me to wear the outfit, I never did. Showing he was kind of a dick to all of them, but he's like, but so did Storm, so did Beast, so did Jean. So him even just talking about these people, he let them die. That's clearly what happened within his universe, right? Now, so I think he's going to see them again. I think we will for sure see James Marsden's Cyclops again wearing the garb. I think we'll see Storm wearing a badass outfit, of course, played by the great Halle Berry. And then, of course, you'll probably have Kelsey Grammer's Beast in the lab coat type shit, but maybe not. But maybe just the glasses and like the belt and whatnot. That'd be cool. And then, of course, we'll see Jean Grey. I don't know. I don't remember the actress who plays Jean, but I think she'll be in it too. And this could be their last time we see them, but again, we could see them in this Avengers vs. X-Men. We don't know if that's for sure, but that is the rumor right now. That's what Avengers 5 is going to be. We will find out on Saturday. That's why I also believe this to be my Christmas week, my Super Bowl Sunday, like what I look forward to the most every year is the fact that we're getting a huge Marvel movie and we are getting San Diego Comic-Con with Marvel being present. So we're going to get a full Phase 6 lineup, no doubt, and get some updates on what's still to come that's in production. Potentially a trailer for Thunderbolts, which I think they will change the name to Dark Avengers. I could do a predictions for San Diego Comic-Con, but I don't know if I'll have time to do that this week. But, I mean, we'll talk about it like crazy. But if you're watching this video, just know that's why I think Thunderbolts has that little asterisk on the end, because I think they're going to change it to Dark Avengers, which I think would be sick. Trying to think about what else. I honestly don't know, ultimately. What I think we'll see Red Skull. It could be a little out there as a prediction, but I think the idea is that like Red Skull is the one who killed Giant Man, and that's we'll see like a little bit of a flashback, and Cassandra Nova is there. That's her name, right? Cassandra Nova. Yeah, the main villain of the movie. She's there to witness Red Skull killing Giant Man within the void, and that's why his skull is there, and that's why it's her base. But it's the whole idea that he's within his like convertible or whatever, and he kills Ant-Man, which is based on a comic that happens in. So I think that's a prediction. There was also a set photo where it kind of seemed like that was Red Skull's vehicle. So we'll see. So I think that's a solid prediction. I would like to think that we're going to see Owen Wilson in this, but I know he's been a name that no one's been talking about, so he might not be. But it would be cool if we see Mobius, because of course he was a big part of the TVA in Loki, and also Sean Levy has worked with Owen Wilson on many different occasions, and he likes to work with his actors from before. That's why I also kind of see how it could be Mark Ruffalo as Hulk, because of course, Mark Ruffalo was in the Adam Project. Same with Jennifer Garner. That's why I also think Elektra's in this movie, because of course her movie was Fox. So that's pretty cool. And then of course, who was I talking about originally? Owen Wilson from the Night at the Museum movies. So I kind of see him potentially being in it, even though no one has really talked about him. But it could have been a very well-kept secret that they were able to get him on set. So that's a prediction. What were you saying, David? If I were a betting man, you would put your money on Tom Holland for which Spidey? Yeah, I mean, again, I think that's a good guess. My money is on Andrew Garfield because, one, like, everyone would love to see Toby, but I think they're saving that interaction for the Secret Wars movie where you're going to have RDJ, Hugh Jackman as the main characters. And I think that'd be cool. That'd be so cool. But I think it'd be cool to just have Andrew Garfield be able to have a chance to interact with Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. And to me, yes, I think Tom could potentially have some of the better banter with Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool. But I don't know how great of a banter he would have with Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. And I think Andrew can fill that for both. One, he's much closer in age, so I could see the chemistry just working a little better. And of course, like, Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man is probably the quippiest one. Also the most serious one, which could kind of fill that balance of like Deadpool being super funny and non-serious, and Hugh Jackman's Wolverine being super serious, right? So that's my thought. But again, it probably will be Tom. I'm pretty sure he had one more movie on his contract before he renewed his contract, and I don't know if it just like continued over, but based on his last contract, it was like doing these last few movies, and he would have one more side appearance. So I think that's very possible for this movie. I was really thinking it would be in Fantastic Four until we learned it's in a different universe and it's set in the 60s. So, yeah. I think Jennifer Garner. I've been hearing so much about Wesley Snipes' Blade. One, it's also a little bit of like a Ryan Reynolds and Wesley worked on Blade Trinity together. But apparently they did not get along on set, so that's also another reason why I kind of feel like that could not happen. But all could be well now. And I also hear that Ryan Reynolds was the one who was actively trying to get these people to come for this, to come for the movie, right? And it's like, yeah, I think he would reach out to Wesley, be like, "Hey, man, let's hash this beef out. Come play Blade again. All right, let's do it." And that'd be sick. I kind of feel the same way about, of course, his wife coming in to play Lady Deadpool. I think Blake Lively she is for sure Lady Deadpool. A lot of people are thinking Taylor Swift. I think Taylor Swift is, I don't know if she's in this movie. It kind of seemed like she could be because, like, of course, she was sitting next to Sean, Ryan, and Hugh at a football game. But what I could see happening is how each movie has this opening sequence with like a song. How the last one had an original song from the great Celine Dion, which is honestly probably one of my favorite songs of all time, is Ashes from Deadpool 2. It's so beautiful. And so I could see Taylor maybe making an original song for this movie. And that's a way to get like a lot of this girl audience in the theater, be like, "Oh, there's a brand new Taylor Swift song that's not dropping. You got to see it in the theater, blah, blah, blah." And then everyone be like, "All right, fine, let's fucking see Deadpool 3. Now, she could be Dazzler or she could be Lady Deadpool, but I'm pretty positive it's Blake Lively. I just think it makes sense. Just let Blake do it. But anyway, who else? I'm trying to think if there'd be a villain from like, you could get a Stryker from like probably the newer X-Men movies potentially. You could maybe get we could see Charles. We could see Patrick Stewart as Charles. Same being with Ian McKellen as Magneto, or we can see Michael Fassbender or James McAvoy in those roles. I just think there's so much that like we just do not know, and I think anything's possible. Because people are saying like, "Oh, this is what everyone thought Multiverse of Madness was going to be." It's like No Way Home on steroids. That's what these people are saying on X right now, based on their social media reviews. It's like, okay, this is cameo heavy. Okay, and basically what I'm also hearing is that the story's good, just not great, but it's like you're going to get awesome action and great interactions between the characters. So the script's there, just maybe the story's not there all the way, but it's fine. I just need to see Deadpool and Wolverine going on a fun little adventure, and we see a lot of fun cameos. One of the cool little ideas going around is that Matthew McConaughey is playing Cowboy Pool. Could be sweet. So it's ultimately, who knows? We could see different variants of Wolverine. I know within the 30 minutes of footage that people have seen, it's that Hugh Jackman played all these different variants of Wolverine within this. But I can see that being a Kevin Feige switch up. He's saying they did a lot of things to try to hide some special cameos. So I can see that being like, oh, it's threw Hugh Jackman into this footage. So like with Patches, right? Or Patch that we see in the trailers. It's Hugh Jackman within this footage, but I have a feeling it's going to be like these people that everyone has been wanting to play a Wolverine. I also kind of think we're going to see our Wolverine of the future within this movie, but it won't be him until the MCU is soft rebooted through Secret Wars, where you're going to get this new MCU where you're going to get a lot of existing characters like Tom Holland Spider-Man, probably Ryan Reynolds Deadpool, but I think you'll get a whole new cast of X-Men as well. I mean, you'll probably bring in this Fantastic Four as well, because I don't know how you do that for one movie and not keep them as the characters. Who knows? Little side tangent, I kind of hope we see the Council of Reeds within that Fantastic Four movie, but we'll see. I don't know. Do you guys have any? I guess it's just probably you, David. But if you have any predictions, put it down in the comments. I'm hearing there's one after credit scene. Apparently, it's like nothing crazy, but I hear it's like a fun after credit scene, so I'm cool with it. As long as the movie ends on like a note of, holy shit, this is where we're going. To go on that, I think since Ryan probably is put back within the MCU towards the end after being on The Void, I think he runs into an Avenger, and I think it's going to be Doctor Strange, because of course Doctor Strange is dealing with this incursion that's happening, and that's going to be a big thing with his third movie, and I'm hoping that somehow is able to come out before the next Avengers movie. So I think they'd be able to. I think that's not a movie they're going to try their fucking damnedest to put out there before Avengers comes out. Is the next Doctor Strange. So I think Doctor Strange is in this movie. One, we've seen a portal, but who knows if it's Doctor Strange in that moment. But I think he's in the movie. At least him or Wong. But I think it's Steven, which would be so sweet. Let's see, David. You think Jubilee, Juggernaut will be at it, and Rogue? I mean, I think so. I'd like to see Anna Paquin in like a full Rogue getup. Same with Jubilee, and of course we're gonna see Juggernaut. I think we've kind of seen that from I think he was in a trailer or something. The guy who played him in X-Men: The Last Stand. Yeah, this movie is going to kick so much ass. And I just have no idea what to expect. I think we're in for a treat. We're in for a wild ride. And I can't even imagine who's in this movie. I mean, I can imagine. Like I definitely can imagine that you get the OG X-Men. You get maybe an Avenger cameo. To me, I think that cameo is going to be for sure Doctor Strange, potentially Tom Holland Spider-Man, and maybe Hulk. Maybe Hulk. We're going to get, because again, this is the first movie within the MCU. All right, they want to really get into that instead of this being like the death of Fox, where you're just going to bring back all these old legacy characters and actors who play these roles. You're going to do that, but I mean, this is the first movie in the MCU. You have to really like be like, oh shit, we can do this with Deadpool now, talking to any of these Avengers. Why would we not do that in this movie? Those are my thoughts. I think that's going to do it here, guys. Not the longest stream, but again, like, I don't want to go too into these predictions because I don't know what else to really say, because like I have no idea. They haven't showed shit in these trailers apparently. Ultimately, it's just, I just hope we see a good movie that's a lot of fun, and that we truly are bringing in the X-Men into the MCU. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed. You guys are seeing the movie in the comments down below, and make sure to tune in. I'm going to try my best to do, I think I'm going to try my absolute best to do spoiler review on Saturday during the morning. I'll probably go to this farmer's market with my girlfriend and her friend who's coming to visit us. That makes it a little harder to try to do this, but I want to make sure to do it. I'll have them just go do something while I can record potentially. But yeah, my goal is to do it sometime in the afternoon on Saturday, because that way, if you don't see the movie Thursday, at least you have Friday to see the movie, and as well have a good chunk of your morning to have a chance to see the movie on Saturday before I talk everything. Do you think there will be any actors playing themselves getting roasted? You mean like if Deadpool saw Ryan Reynolds and just like said, "Hey, fuck you, dude"? Maybe. I just don't know if we could see that. I just don't know if we really will. You could. I mean, you could have it where there's like a bunch of different, like let's say there's a lot of Magneto variants or something, and you see some guys who you've always wanted to see as Magneto. For me, the person I want to play MCU Magneto is Viggo Mortensen. I think he'd be perfect. But hypothetically, let's say you have Deadpool just go over to all of them and be like, "You suck, you suck, you suck." Like, Ian McKellen, you're a terrible Magneto, blah, blah, blah. And then he'll just go to Viggo and he's like, "You know what? I like you." Or something like that. I can see something like that. I just don't know if it'll be necessarily the actor playing the actor within the movie. It's very possible, because that's one of my favorite things about it was like the old Spider-Man cartoon that came out in the 90s, right? The last episode, it involves Spider-Verse shit, right? And there's one who's just wearing the costume and doesn't have any powers. Like, why are you here? It was just the actor who plays Spider-Man in our world. So I think that's pretty cool. So that'd be a neat concept for this movie. But I don't know. If it's going to happen in any movie, it would happen in this movie. Let's say you actually have, amongst all the Deadpools, you just have Ryan Reynolds walking with them. He's like, "Why am I here? Why am I here?" But I think that's probably the one I would say has the biggest shot, is Ryan Reynolds playing himself. But okay, guys, leave your comments down below. Let me know when you're seeing the movie. Tune in on Saturday. We will definitely talk about the movie. I'll keep you updated on when that's happening. And of course, next week we'll also be able to do our Comics Adaptations Weekly and discuss what goes down at San Diego Comic-Con. I am amped for that. All right, guys. Again, make sure to destroy that like button and subscribe button. Turn on your notification bell so you know when we go live, and I will catch y'all very soon. Bye-bye.